allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call?
Scott?
Yes.
Joyce?
Yep.
Linda?
Yep.
Steve? Bill?
Yes.
Rob?
Yes.
Okay, we need approval of video and written minutes.
I make a motion.
I second it.
Rob?
Yes.
Scott?
Yes.
Joyce?
Yes.
Linda?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Okay, discussion and approval of finance reports.
Okay, let's see. Right one here. This is last month's reconciliation because of the timing. We had $1,768,343.77. That was for 8/31/2019. Payment listing. This is for September 2019. It's been $105,253.41.
Bank reconciliation for 9/30?
I just read them.
No, you didn't.
Oh,
You did
no.
8/31.
Oh, you need to get back here because I must have missed it because I didn't say it.
Just read that.
I'm gonna say because it wasn't in them. So reconciled date of 9/30/2019, we have $1,718,460.70. I'm seeing this one, I think it's one in that folder.
I don't understand what my pencil. Thank you.
You're quite welcome, ma'am. My pleasure.
I'm just taking one out of the folder.
Huh?
I'm just taking one out of the
That
folder.
one said I didn't see them, that's what I'm saying.
Let's see,
Oh,
I'm
wasn't
looking.
it?
I'm
That wasn't in there,
looking.
that's what I was getting at, so.
Yeah, it is, it's right here.
Is it? Press some blank shit.
That's my
Okay,
copy.
put that one in there, and then we'll get that straightened out.
No, he signed that one. I need the one he didn't sign.
Scott!
What's wrong?
Hey, we need glasses for a
Look at that beard guy.
It's getting more aggressive. I get good reactions to
Okay,
it.
the financial report.
Yeah, you need to make a motion.
I'll make a motion for the financial report.
I'll second it.
Joyce?
Yeah.
Linda?
Yep.
Scott?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Rob?
Yes.
Okay, Alicia, you wanna?
Okay. So I'm here for the carnival just because I had a few things I wanted to touch base on from the last meeting. Everything's kind of going along, nothing I can really do until obviously it's time. But last meeting we had discussed the generators for the inflatables. I believe I'll be having 3 inflatables. One of them is larger. The other 2 are bounce houses and I think like a sports complex sort of thing we had. So I wanted to see about generators. Am I going to need to get one from?
I can bring one, I got a couple of them, so.
Okay, I think last year we had how many, John?
2.
2, and I think I had 3 inflatables, so I think we'll probably want to have at least 3 for the
I can
carnival.
bring one down.
That saves us about $25 an hour.
Yeah.
From using their own. Other than that, everything, like I said earlier, is just kind of on track. I've got my list of donation needs out there. We will have face painting again this year. Beck Oil Supply donated the $300 needed originally it was going to go towards the inflatables because the inflatables were a little more pricey this year, but thanks to Gurney's Family Fun Center, they took $400 off the cost. So what I ended up thinking I was going to need from Beck, I had in reserve, and I'm putting that towards bringing the face painters that we had out again this year from last year's carnival. So we'll have about 3 inflatables, about 6 games or so, and I'm working on a caution tape maze, really basic. I just need the stakes, and I have the caution tape already from a donation last year when I was going to try and do it, but I never got the stakes and just didn't have the time. This year I've got it mapped out, got a little bit more of an idea, just something else to do. The carnival will be about 3 hours long. Working on securing some donations from like Haunted Hydro, different areas, different businesses in the area to go towards. But other than that, my big thing was the generators and knowing that we're having it here. If there's anything you guys have questions about or you need to know to do differently this year, you can do that as well. And also, we have like nobody for the parade this year. Old Fort Schools couldn't do it this year, so we don't have a marching band. So any of you that've got gold cards, the director has an engagement, prior engagement that day. I contacted her earlier in the summer, like, she's like, if I would've gotten a hold of her in August, but I didn't get a hold of her until
It
September.
seems like every time we plan something, they
No.
also have something going on.
Last year they were here, and I think the year before, but the first year they had an assembly of some sorts for their honor students, but this year, if I'd have gotten a hold of her a little bit sooner, we would have had them.
What about other schools, like?
I've thought about that, but the only thing is this falls the same weekends as Tiffin Developmental Center Parade. And a lot of schools aren't gonna double book themselves, back-to-back events. Some will, some won't. But I've not had luck in the past, last year when it was the same weekend. It's just the earlier you have it, the better chance you have of better weather. So that's why you're kind of, 6 one way, half a dozen another. You don't get the bands because there's another event already. But old cars, I know that there are some residents who are interested in put it out and let me know. But I'm going to put something out there again. I put it out a few weeks ago, but didn't get much of a bite. So hopefully closer, more people will see that it's going to be another hot October, hopefully. And they can get their classic cars out and their tractors and whatever else, motorcycles, whatever they want to put in, they're welcome to. I'm not going to do a forum this year. There just wasn't enough interest last year to warrant a forum. Maybe if we grow, there'll be a need, but if you want to be in the parade, just let me know, and I'll take the information down, and I'll let my person organizing the parade know. Other than that, that's where I'm at with the parade.
Yeah, no truck in there.
I figured. I think I even wrote, I think Teresa messaged me and said
Yeah.
Scott will have his, but yeah, that's it.
You might be the parade.
The whole parade, yeah.
Yep. I'm dry.
I got a couple boxes of books too for prizes for the
Take
coloring.
those to
Yeah.
Kim.
Well, I
I'll take yours
told them
too.
about them and they haven't come to get them yet, so.
Okay. If nothing else, I'll take them and
well,
give them to
it's
them.
probably a place to put them, yeah,
That's true.
Yeah.
So I'll, if nothing else, I'll come and get
Well,
them.
either that or I could just,
I mean, she uses them for the prizes
Yeah.
and stuff. But, yep, that's all I got for you guys, unless the park committee's going good. We just talked about different events we could hold out there this last meeting, different things we could do. Everybody kind of knows what their interest is and where they want to research. Some really out-of-the-box ideas, really neat, like a photo contest, I thought was really neat. That would bring, that was recommended to bring people out in the wintertime and the early spring, just stuff like that. So, just kind of trucking along now.
okay,
Cool. Thank you. Did you get a report there for us, buddy? Okay. You're up, Gavin.
All right. We had 2 traffic citations, no warnings. 1 OVI or intoxicated person's call. There's 7 thefts, all pretty much from vehicles. One vandalism or damaging call. 3 juvenile calls. 3 disturbances or disorderly conducts. 1 assist. 1 motor vehicle accident, but it's private property, and then 8 calls in the other category that don't really fall into the places. There are 27 calls.
That's how
Did
many
you
you
make it
handle?
first?
That's how many you handle?
No, that's how many they order.
Oh, how many did you do?
Like 13 of them. I think that's what I counted. Yeah, 13.
Yeah.
I think everybody's kind of happy with it.
yeah.
The overall,
Okay,
this is
Mike.
working.
We had 11 calls for the month of September. Dry hydrant at the park has been fixed. We still on that last before kids destroyed it. We actually, when we replaced it, we had to cut the elbow off of it, and when we looked down inside, there was a bunch of sticks we pulled out, a pop bottle, and I'm not sure whatever else is in there that's stuck in the pipe, so.
Is there anything we can cover it with, or?
I know you guys made mention of putting a fence up, but
That was my pencil.
I don't know if that's gonna stop it or not.
Figure something out.
I just hope we don't suck that up in the truck and then.
Oh, yeah,
have it
yeah,
placed
really.
Yeah.
Fellas in the truck, right? So, and I had somebody contact me about 64 Friday, but I've heard nothing back, so I just talked to him. I gave him 32 pictures. Called them back, they're from Yucca Fire Department in Arizona.
Oh, really? That'd be fun to take it out there,
They were,
wouldn't it?
no, they were driving it back, they're gonna drive it back.
Really?
Yeah, they, were on their way from Iowa, going to Iowa to look at one, they already looked at one already, and that was in worse shape than what ours was, so, I'm not sure where we're at now.
That'd been pretty gutsy.
They
Ours
weren't
isn't in really worse shape.
They weren't
Is it
our
in bad
address.
shape? Is it in bad shape?
No.
I don't think so.
They wanted the address, so we'll see what happens.
Okay, cool.
All righty, thanks, Mike. Clean up, Joyce.
No, I don't have anything for you.
Okay. Water sewer street, John?
On the street, obviously Sullivan's done.
That's good.
Next year when we get Elm bid, I think we ought to get the lot here bid too, because it's really falling apart out front. Joyce's sidewalk, I got 3 bids on that. The cheapest one was $3,800. I told him to come get it done, so that should be done here in the next week or 2. It's some Mennonites that were doing work
Oh, yeah.
over at Brandon Bell's mom's place.
Yeah, that's the one that's gonna do my floor and my
Oh,
gut.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they were the cheapest ones I could find, $3,800. When I figured out the amount of concrete, the concrete's gonna be $2,500.
Really?
So
So where does that go from?
it's 120 feet
120 feet?
So what, go from the alley?
From
from the alley back to, well,
that road, the dead road,
to the,
fence row?
yeah,
That fence row,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
The tax assessments were completed, that's all sent in and taken care of. And probably about a dozen of those, most of them are outside the village limits. There's not really much I can do about those.
What are you hearing on the 31 deal?
I haven't heard a thing.
It's been quiet.
Yeah.
That's coming pretty quiet. Don't you think we should
I
be
don't know.
getting in their faces about this?
About what?
What's gonna happen out there? I mean, you know,
They have to apply
Yep.
to get it done, and there's not been an application turned in, so there's nothing to do until one's turned in. You're arguing about something that hasn't happened. Just gotta wait.
well,
It has to go to, it's just like when you guys do a variance, it's supposed to be advertised to the public. They can't do anything until it's been advertised, so it'll be in the paper.
you know, I just, you know, want it done before I die.
Well, don't die, Dave.
Well, you better hang in there for a while.
What time you got?
The sewer plant, the EPA is really cracking down on phosphorus levels, and our plant is not designed to get the phosphorus out. So Dave is looking into what we can do to remove the phosphorus. Basically, the closer you get to the lake, your permits are changing due to the
Yeah.
algae in the lake. So,
So what is our concentration that's right now? I mean, you had to do a water test, every time you what your level is, right? Phosphorus right now?
it's done every month.
Yeah.
It's above 5, and we gotta be below 5.
Okay.
So, it may be a chemical injection we can do. Basically, the larger plants don't really have to worry about it as much, because they have pre-treatment areas before it's, you know,
Right.
and we don't have that. It goes into a tank, it's aerated, it settles out, it runs through UV, and it's out the door. So we don't have that area to treat anything prior
Right.
to it running out. So Dave has a couple friends that work down in the Columbus area in larger plants, and they have friends that work in smaller plants that are dealing with the same issues, so we're trying to set up a date where we can run down to one of them smaller plants and see
See
what
how
they're
they approach
doing.
Yeah.
So, we're working on that. I don't think there's a whole lot you're gonna be able to do about it in the winter time anyhow. That's gonna be a springtime issue that we'll probably have to get after. Basically, every time you run over, they give you a violation and you have to report to them and tell them how you're planning to fix the violation, and so all we can do is work on it. I mean, it's not gonna happen overnight with us, but I mean, if you wanted to fix it tomorrow, you're gonna put millions of dollars in that plant, and that's not gonna happen, so they're just gonna have to hold off until we get it figured out. Plumbing in the well house is kinda nasty. I showed Scott, and this is something that, it's been in there since '79 when they built the buildings back there, but I got an estimate to get that replaced
Uh-oh.
of $8,200. All the plumbing in the well house would be replaced. Get rid of all the old cast and put plastic in. That's through the same company that takes care of our telemetry and whatnot. But I don't wanna do it till after the first of the year.
That looks
So-
awful.
Yeah, it's
What's the
not
company, John?
That is not a pretty
Artesian.
sight. So it's something that has to be done, so,
Yeah, it needs
Yeah.
to be done. But I don't wanna do it this year. They're gonna give me a better deal if we do it in the winter time, so they got some inside work to do. So,
Okay.
Plus I'd rather wait till after we hit the new budget year.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got the money, but there's nowhere, I mean, if we can wait, we may as well wait.
Do you want approval now, or you
Just
gonna
have
give it
that
back?
out there for all the time. We used to fix that stuff.
Yeah.
did you want to approve it now, or
That's a
you
big
want to wait?
It's up to you
corporation
guys.
So you just order it.
You want,
You
you
guys
want to know if
wanna-
you want to approve it now, or
I
you
think
want to
you-
wait?
I think it'd
You
be a
guys
motion
wanna look at it?
to approve it and get it scheduled, and then we'll schedule it first year to try to get some
Yeah,
cost
okay.
savings on it, I think is what you do.
Yeah.
But I think we need to organize it and get ready for it.
Then I'll make a motion that we let John go ahead to set everything up to get the fixtures in the well houses fixed after the first of the year.
Second?
I'll second it.
Linda?
Yes.
Scott?
Yes.
Joyce?
Yeah.
Ralph?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
And the only other thing that I have is our updated and revised contingency plan is done for the water, if anyone wants to look for that. And our asset management plan for water has been started. We're still working on that, but we're in compliance, so we used to have a little 6-page thing for the contingency plan. And they want you to use their template now, which is this. So,
Yeah.
So we killed a tree.
oh boy,
What was the second thing you said, John, after the contingency plan?
asset management plan,
It started?
yep. Yeah, we're working on it. It's not something, that is something that will always change as you get new equipment and whatnot, that the life expectancy, which I guess you guys should really understand that too, is the life expectancies of the equipment and whatnot is in here.
Right.
So like your water mains and whatnot, their estimated life expectancy of your mains are, the valves are 30 to 40 years, the service lines are 30 to 50, and your distribution is 35 to 40, and those are 70 years.
Oh, well, we don't have
Yeah.
to.
So,
Have we had any main breaks or anything lately, or water?
They will.
Yeah, you-
not
you
this
said
time of
something.
year. Yeah, thanks.
Better be
We will
done.
tomorrow.
You know, he said.
No, we're pretty fortunate. Those drives really
They save a
us.
lot of work, I mean, they
Yeah, I mean,
eliminate that
you
water
you don't go from 50 pounds to 100 pounds and then back to 0 and then back to
Mhm.
What a
50.
wonderful thing.
Yeah,
They,
yeah.
they really do save a lot.
It fluctuates about 10 to 15 pounds when they come on and.
I think that was a good decision we made past when we did that,
Oh, absolutely,
you know.
Well, that saves you a fortune.
But I
I
heard the
mean,
place that we were at, that's
Yeah.
what they do. I mean,
Right.
they've been doing it for years.
every main break costs you about $2,500 when you figure in time. The clamps alone are $500 a piece, you know, it just depends on how big.
And it never happens at a good time either.
And it's always in the middle of the night when it's snowing and blowing, yeah, but, yeah. So anyhow, I mean, I thank you guys because all the money that we've spent has been for infrastructure stuff, and it only makes life easier and it makes the quality of your things better.
That goes back to your point we've been talking about, we gotta take care of the community within this area and focus our energy and money there, because that's what we gotta do. I mean, I agree with that, because
But that's all I got. So.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yep.
Park, do you have anything
I do, and I kind of
all
want
done, right?
to, well, what you guys want me to do? Late last week, I got an email back from Mike about how much it would cost to do what he wants to do with it, and he's looking at another $2,000. Now, so here's the question I kind of want to put forth as to what people want to do. We connect two things to the application. We connect the drawing, which I think we have the drawing. I mean, I think the drawing that we have is really a big drawing in this thing. The other is a legal description. I can cobble together the legal description. I can take, I mean, it'll take me an afternoon, but I can go to the recorder's office and I can take the most recent deeds from those parcels. I can put them together because he wants, and I emailed him back about this, and I don't know if he's just confused or what, but the description that we need done needs to exclude that sliver we've talked about. That's that Premier Services company sliver. So my plan would be to simply take basically every basic deed I can find, put that together as the legal description for it, submit that, as well as submit the drawings we previously had, and I can get fresh copies from him on those to show what's being, and take that slip out. I am probably realistically 85% confident in me being able to parse this together, because it's going to be, I'm going to take all these different deeds, because there's going to be a couple of them, and line those legal descriptions up, but assuming that all goes together, that's not a big deal. And if I get way over my head, then we're going to be kind of stuck and go that with him or whatever else we would do with it. But that was the quote I got back, and I got that back 9/25. I got the email back last week. So that's where he's at financially. But like I said, we have a drawing that I think, I mean, this is the only people who have to approve this are the commissioners. So it's not like this has to go to, this is their maps. They know what's here. And I would think more than anything, the more important thing is that description, and that's something we can do. I have the time. I mean, I've shifted my schedule in such a way that I have certain days and mornings now that I intentionally don't have court, so I can actually do things instead of sitting there wasting away in a courtroom. So I can do that. I can have legal descriptions ready to rock and roll. That, and again, I'll know quickly if I'm getting over my head or not. And if I get over my head, I'll bail and give you guys a heads up. This is beyond my skill set. But my thought is to at least give me next 2 weeks to see if I can put that together. And then if I can't, we're gonna be stuck.
So it's all okay by everybody except the commissioners, you're saying?
So what happens is, what happens is this, is I sent everything to, and I think it's important to recap.
Yeah.
I sent everything to the people at Basic, took a look at everything and said, hey, remember, we want everything included in this. We discovered that if we had annexed just the square we had talked about, it wasn't going to work anyway, because it really didn't get to every place we needed to be. So, and tied with what Basic has requested, which is, if you're going to annex some, annex all of our property, which is fine. But there is a tract of land that is actually splits basic. It looks more like a Pac-Man. Their property, because it comes around like a crescent. And in the middle is this other company's land.
Premier.
It's Premier Services, who has never been any part of this. So, the thought would be, is what I need to submit to the commissioners is an application for annexation, which is fine, it was done, months and months ago. I have to have two things with it. One is I have to have a legal description. And that's what I'm talking about that I think I can do, because
Okay.
every deed that has basic has their legal description. So I can say this, including this, including this, including this.
Right.
And that would be the description of the property. Then I also have to attach a perimeter drawing of the property to be annexed. And I sent my copy off to Basic, so I don't have a copy, so I need to get another one from the guy. And assuming what that is a big giant drawing of the whole area, I can present to the commissioners, we're doing this and not this. Basically put a big old black marker around what we're doing, accept this with the matching legal description,
Yes.
and submit it for their approval. And what I'm getting at is, I think I have the skill set to put the legal descriptions together, but I may not. If it's starting to get way over my head, I'd rather pay the money and have it done right than have me screw it up and have it bite us in the butt.
Yeah.
I've done enough legal descriptions not to have a problem, and because none of it's platted or anything like that, I still have to take it over to engineer to have it approved anyway. So it's at least a check on what I'm looking at. But the annexation works because, again, look at this kind of the Pac-Man thing. Basic wraps all the way around back to the quarry and all that, which is part of the village. So because it's attaching to the part of the village down here, it's a weird way to get there, but it's all connected. It's just gonna have this sliver not be a part of it. And I know you guys already have a bunch of money into this already, but if you can avoid paying $2 more grand,
I agree.
it's probably worth it, but
Exactly.
that's your guys' call. Like I said, I think
Well,
I
we're
just have
this
to do
close.
it. I can set the, it's the only hindrance.
Yeah.
It's the only hindrance to any of this is that. And I'm really glad that we discovered by accident.
Yeah, Basics property runs from the old rail line back around to the quarry,
Right.
all the way around Vesuvius.
Right.
Yeah.
And Vesuvius is Premier Services.
Yeah.
So basically, we're looping around the backside to get to what we want.
Yeah, okay.
And I don't necessarily think you want to start this whole thing over again
No, that,
No.
with dealing with Vesuvius now as well. It's not because both would have to agree. And Vesuvius doesn't touch, it doesn't touch the village anyway, right?
No, I think it's just
It's
Basic.
completely consumed by Basic.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I think you should probably go ahead with it and let us know.
Should we
But I
make-
mean, I-
do we have to make a motion
If
to
you
do
think you
this?
can do
No.
it.
Oh, okay,
It's just me doing my job.
Okay. okay.
So yeah, let me, give me 2 weeks to do that, and I'll
Yeah,
get some
okay.
stuff to
Okay.
both, to Gary and Scott and say, this is where I'm at, and then we don't necessarily have to, there's nothing there's nothing at this point anyone needs to do in an actual meeting, council meeting setting.
Okay.
We've long approved doing the annexation, we've already talked about, we already moved to annex the whole thing, none of that's in question, this is just,
To get things going.
we've already approved the money for the application, so I believe I'm in a position, I can simply just come to Angela and say, hey, I need this check,
Right.
when that's done, so I would largely, aside from updates, there's nothing that would need to come through this council
Okay.
again to take care of this.
Okay,
Okay,
Cool.
good.
good. Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Alex.
You said you have nothing on zoning?
I don't either.
Okay.
Let's see, does.
Okay, old business, Buckeye IT, Scott?
I gotta spend some more time with Jake, but I gotta get some time off and actually go up there and physically spend time with him, so I got 160 hours vacation I can burn before the end of the year, so I'm gonna take some time off here, so. I've been living at the plant, so my
Okay.
goal was to take some time off and go get this thing resolved.
Okay. Spectrum, Scott?
Yeah, I talked to Ann and John and I, we had a discussion on this, and I don't think it's what we wanna do. I think that basically she shuts her computer down, so it's probably, as long as it's not live on the internet all the time, they're not gonna be able to hack into the thing.
Right.
And I think that's what we approach it, and then we just try to keep the virus and stuff, software updated, and try to get it that way, because I think honestly, paying, what was it was $100, almost $200 a month, right?
100 a month.
Yeah, yeah, there's no way I'm gonna do that, you know, so I don't think there's gonna be any gain for us, you know,
Okay.
to spend money, and, I mean, that's my opinion, I mean, I don't, what do you guys think?
No, no.
You know, I mean, cause we all know that what they're gonna do, if somebody's smart enough or, you know, to hack any of it, they wanna get to you, they're gonna get to you. But I think if you just keep the computer shut off and all that stuff, where it's not live all the time, that's opportunities for them to get in there.
Yep, exactly.
You know, and the biggest thing is just don't open up emails and stuff, that's usually how they get in anyhow. They go through an email, or something, open up something you don't understand, that's usually how they get into you. So,
Okay. Reading non-responders, Alex?
I guess gotta find time to put it together. I mean, it's,
Okay.
one thing I did learn is that we can prosecute both, literally, we can prosecute both people who haven't filed and people who haven't paid. We don't have to know how much they owe. So there's nothing requiring that. It's just, and I gotta talk to, I don't know, from a cost perspective, I mean, we have the contract, so I don't think it costs us anything with the prosecutor's office. Cause I mean, there's gonna be court costs and stuff these people get stuck with, but I don't think that's our responsibility. But that's just finding time to get with the Rita people and say, what's your evidence? Cause I don't know how they know that these people owe money. I don't know how they know any of this, to be honest. So.
Okay. I'm gonna do second reading of ordinance 2019-06. It's an ordinance to regulate the rates and charges to be charged and collected and the services to be rendered by Swift Gas Company, its successors and assigns for natural gas and natural gas service furnished to the village of Bettsville, Ohio, and its inhabitants for the period of January 1, 2020 through December 31st, 2020.
Okay.
That'll be our second reading. Okay, house numbers, where we at?
Did you get this thing he's cut in half yet?
You are not waiting on me. I can do that in no time.
Oh. Well, didn't we tell you to do it last month?
What are you doing to get them distributed?
Well, we gotta have the pole to stick them in the ground. We got the things they're already numbered.
Yeah, I'll get that done. So
Okay,
they can sit there.
whenever, John, okay. And just call Linda and I, okay, and we'll come with the sledge, okay?
Yep. How many is my whole bang whatever it's called, you know.
Anybody got anything else under old business? Okay, we'll go to Advertiser Tribune letter. All it is they're saying they're not sending people out to do our,
Oh, really?
for the newspaper.
We're not exciting anymore?
I've seen it somewhere.
We're boring?
Mhm.
Oh,
Well, yeah, the meeting affected us, Seneca County Board of Developmental Disabilities, Bloomville Village Council, Republic Village Council, Green Springs Village Council, and Bettsville Village Council.
oh,
We say if we wanna put something together, they'll put it together.
really? What a little snots.
I wondered where he was at today.
So that's the scoop, they're not gonna do it.
Okay.
Okay, does anybody have any new business to bring up? I gotta, Chuck wanted, he couldn't be here tonight, so he just wanted me to remind everybody about the chili cook-off on the
Yeah.
27th of, October. It's 1 to 3, sitting next to the tree, it is, from 5:30. trick or treat night,
Is that down-
5:30 to
is that down
7.
Legion, or where's it at?
Yes, that's a
That's
Legion.
all Legion.
And also, aren't they having a special, for Mac, for being the Veteran of the Year down at the Legion?
Yes, that's on November 9th. That's Veterans Day. It'll be Veterans Day meeting and also,
A dinner,
Dinner,
honoring him, or
yeah.
just for for
Yeah,
all
'cause
the,
Mac-
well, it doesn't have to be a veteran, anybody can go. you
but
know.
Mac is, he got Veteran of the Year this year
In
for
Seneca County.
Seneca
Oh,
County.
that's
so-
cool.
Yeah, 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 and he deserves it, really,
Yes,
Yeah.
very, very.
very much.
He's gonna be recognized on Saturday, the 9th.
Yeah,
Yeah, November 9th and.
yeah, at the Legion,
Yeah, Veterans Day's that Monday.
yeah.
Yeah, so we're having the Veterans Day thing and Max thing too. So we're expecting a lot of people.
Yeah, yeah, so,
Be 200 plus.
yeah. Okay.
And anybody got anything else to bring up for me?
Stay quiet.
If not,
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
adjourn.
Okay.
Oh, my gosh.